Hey fam, it's Michelle, the health coach. Let's talk perspective. Perspective is an amazing thing. Your perspective should change as you age, you see things differently. As you have more experiences, you see things differently, you understand things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll change your point of view, but it should at least open the doors to see more of a panoramic view of a situation. Perspective becomes very important. For example, just this past week, couple of weeks ago, I spent 2 glorious weeks in Spain helping my daughter transition for her internship this semester, or her thingy, so she's going to be up there for a semester. Had a glorious time, saw things I've never seen, did things I've never seen, ate amazing food. Everything was fine on the trip there, but on my return trip home, it was a nightmare, it was awful. Airline, something happened, and one of the routes I had 4 legs. I had 4 changes of planes. And in one stop, the stop that we were leaving Madrid, I fell asleep thinking, yeah, it's a long flight, 8 hours. Let me get some rest. As I woke up to find out that we were actually headed back after a couple hours plus traveling, headed back to Madrid because of some type of engine situation. And that's when everything started to go downhill. Nonetheless, by the end of it, I was spending the night in the airport at Orlando, not the hotel at the airport, in the airport, because of some crossed wires and not being able to get help. Nonetheless, as you can imagine, I was not happy. In fact, I was everything but happy. Livid, angry, frustrated, the fatigue, all of it. And all of a sudden, I had forgotten that I just spent 2 glorious weeks in Spain. Gone out the window. I am mad. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter and da 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 da. The next day comes, get on the plane to fly in to Dallas, and I'm still hotter than fish grease. I'm just angry, and this just ruined my whole trip, my first trip to Europe, and this is how I'm going to remember it, and da 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 da, all the things, right? All these things, and I'm telling it to myself, and I'm texting it to my people, and da da, all the things, right? Cut off the phone, because I do that. I do go into airplane mode and cut my phone off and all of the things. And as I landed, I was contacting my friend who was nice enough and had offered to pick me up from the airport. And, I had to keep telling her, I'm not sure when I'm coming in. I'm not sure if I'm coming in. So as we're landing, I cut on my phone immediately so that I could let her know, hey, this thing did happen. I did make it here. And to my surprise, I got all these dings on my phone, which, all of my clients knew for the most part I was out of town, and I was a day behind getting back. There was that too. But when I started to read the messages, they were all not what I expected. It was, hey, are you guys okay? Hey, where are you guys? Hey, why aren't you answering? Hey, are you guys okay? Hey, oh, yeah, we're doing great. I posted a few pictures. But one message said, were you in the accident, or was the accident near you? And I thought, what accident? I Googled to find out that day, the day before or that morning, there was a horrible, horrific train crash in Spain. And so that was why those messages read the way they read, was because now everybody wants to know, not just, hey, they had a great time. Oh, look at the pictures on Facebook, but folks are trying to find me now. They're trying to make sure I'm okay, trying to make sure my daughter is okay, which was very heartwarming. But in the moment, as I'm reading, worst train crash in Spain in decades and da 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 da, I had a change in perspective. I had a big change in perspective. I had just experienced 2 glorious weeks with my daughter, watching her adulting, stepping into adulthood. I had left her in a place that I felt incredibly safe about, with people who were going to, look after her and make sure that she was safe. Um, I had just gotten back on solid ground in my country. The plane that I was on previously had turned around in enough time or whatever, and all of that ended up great. It was an inconvenience, but it didn't go into the Atlantic. Like, all of these things started to bring me back to a place of gratitude and appreciation for not what I had just experienced over the 2 weeks, but by the fact of what didn't happen. Because that was the example. When I clicked my phone on that morning, that was the truest example of it could have been worse that I had ever experienced firsthand. Because being delayed by one day, spending a night in an airport, in no way compared to what the families of those victims in the crash had to deal with. Perspective is everything. Now, rest assured, that airline will be getting a strongly worded letter from me as soon as I finish this video. But at the end of the day, I had a great time in Spain watching my daughter step into the next best level of her life. And in the end, that's all that really matters. Perspective. What can you see from a different perspective today? Be sure to comment and let me know. Until next time, remember, I love helping you live your best, healthiest life. So be sure to call me, schedule your free wellness consultation.